Welcome, one and all, to another episode of Stace and Barry in the Morning. I was about to go into like a sing-song then, and then I thought, nah, it's not working, so I'll leave it. So I am one of the hosts. I'm one end of an incredibly hot and sweaty sofa. I'm just glad it's not leather. And on the other hand is my chortling and chuckling co-host, Stace Bob.
Hello, it's me. I'm very glad that none of my furniture is leather, because I would have stuck to it like a week ago and not been able to.
Just rolled off it.
I don't think you even can. I think somebody would have to like physically peel me off a leather sofa in this weather.
And just leave half of your back on it.
Yeah. Aww. Like a snake that shed its skin, but much more disgusting.
Oh, lovely.
Hello, everyone. What a delightful image for your breakfast.
On a Saturday morning, just to gauge your cornflakes.
D.
Product placement. Stace and Barry is sponsored by Cornflakes. Cornflakes, your tasty breakfast cereal from Kellogg's. Get it today.
They're great, or whatever. Is that Frosties? I forget.
For fuck's sake, Stace.
Oh, no. I bungled it.
You bungler.
Oh, I bungled it. I can't believe I bungled it.
To be fair, Stace and Barry is not sponsored by Kellogg's.
It's not sponsored by Cornflakes or Frosties, so...
No.
Eat whatever you want, we don't care.
Yeah, because if it was, I could give a shit what you eat, because I'd be rolling in it, bitches. So, Kellogg's, if you're listening, if you do want to sponsor us and that you like that advert I just did, then, drop us a line.
Don't listen to the part where I spoke about a rival breakfast cereal, but...
Editing.
Yeah, just snip that bit out. Snip that bit out.
Editing the shit podcaster's friend.
You'd think we'd both be good at it by now, considering we've both been banging on at this for like 15 fucking years or whatever.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But no. Hey, so I do want to preface this by telling everybody that, you probably all know this, but just in case you're somewhere that's not hot, the UK is really fucking hot right now. So I just want to apologise in advance in case I get heat-addled delirious.
Is that even a phrase?
It is now. Okay. I'm not coping well. I've used so much talcum powder under my boobs in the past week. It's like I could be keeping talcum powder in business, and I'm just having a bit of a bad time of sleeping and living.
Not necessarily in that order.
No, yeah. So, it's just a preface, just in case this episode is just really fucking stupid.
Yeah, because our award-winning previous episodes have always been chock full of educational tidbits.
Yeah, we're very professional. We always do like a really good professional job.
Only for 4 minutes, and we haven't even done a segment yet.
Shall I do a trumpet?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on then.
Oh no! Do you not want to give a shout out to our third member, your fucking fan?
Oh, my delightful tower fan, currently blowing up a storm into the armpit of my dress.
Teddy the tower fan.
Teddy the tower fan, who's currently registering this room as 25 degrees, even though all of the windows upstairs and all of the doors upstairs have been open all day. So that's an insane, stupid temperature for it to be in an evening. But on a Saturday morning, quick, I've ruined the illusion. Let's do a trumpet.
Go.
Should we do a pick of the fortnight?
Why not?
Why the fuck not, eh? You can go first, B, because I've already talked quite a lot.
Okay.
And said nothing.
Okay, so would you get if you cross a Disney-like princess with Die Hard?
Something quite baffling, I would imagine.
Yes, you get The Princess, which is a new show, which is a film. That was an awful intro. It's a film that's dropped on Disney Plus, which I watched over the weekend. Now, I don't know exactly when it came out, but I'm I saw it like, I don't know, must be a week before that or something, and I just saw it say princess, and it just had a princess-looking woman, and I thought, nah, I don't fancy it. It just feels this is just going to be some kind of twee princess type story, maybe even a sing along, maybe even some musical ornaments or something, and I'm just like, nah. And then someone said, no, you need to watch it. They put, you need to watch it. It's like The Raid, but with a Disney princess. And I was kind of like, what? And I went and saw a trailer for it, and the trailer just looked like madness. And it wasn't what I was expecting. I think there's even a bit where they say, like, this is one princess you don't want to fuck with. Obviously,
Nice.
they bleep out the fuck. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm in. So basically, the film starts, it's a mild spoiler, but the film kind of starts with a princess locked in a tower. It's like classic princess start, kind of like Rapunzel vibe. And then she's kind of asleep, or she's kind of half drugged or whatever. And two guards come in to sort of check on her or whatever. And then basically she kind of like wakes up, and then she annihilates these two guards.
Brilliant.
And then the rest of and then what you discover is basically she was supposed to marry like the prince being a complete and utter git, and she said no. So he took over like the castle in the kingdom and locked her in a tower, and like he's got her parents, like the king and queen, and her like her young sister and stuff. And the whole point is she's got to marry him so he can kind of solidify his position. And so it's basically Die Hard. So she's basically trapped in this tower on her own, and it's filled with like guards and whatever, and she has to like work her way down through the tower to get out.
Oh, okay.
And by work her way, i.e. just whooping the ass of anyone she comes across, and finding new and inventive ways to kill people as she works her way down. To the point that I heard she starts off with this kind of like massive kind of wedding-y ball gown, and she kind of ends up, but then looking a little bit like Xena.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got real. So if you used to watch Xena Warrior Princess back in the day, it's got that kind of vibe, and by that, as in it comes with the same level of cheesiness with it.
Okay.
So it's entertaining. It's not, do you know what I mean? It's not something you're going to go away and go like, wow, this is the next Lord of the Rings. They should do a franchise of this. But it's an hour and a half. It's entertaining. You got a couple of beers on the go, even better. Yeah, and you just see a Disney style princess fucking people up.
That sounds right up I almost said right up my wheelhouse, which is not the right expression, is it? It's like right up my alley, right in my wheelhouse. Yeah. One of those two. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just having a little drink. Hey, my do you know what? We've not been sponsored by Disney Plus, but my pick of the fortnight happens to come from there as well. The Bob's Burgers movie came out on Disney Plus this week, and it is good. Are you a Bob's Burgers fan, perchance?
No, because you've been going on at me to watch it. I've seen two. Now, normally when you go, to be fair, when you go at me to watch something, and whenever I watched it, I've gone by the sweet lords of Kobo. Stace was right. I should have watched it ages ago. So it's not that. It's just that I've just not found the time to get around to watching it. I've seen about 2 or 3 episodes, and actually enjoyed the episodes I've seen. Plus, the main guy is the guy just the voice of Archer, so he could read the phone book, and I'd find it fun.
Honestly, I could listen to him. I can't remember which film it is, but there's a film where he plays a talking tin of vegetables or something.
Yeah.
And it's bananas, and I was like, yeah, but I'd watch that talking tin of vegetables all day.
Yeah.
I literally would. Well, I'll let you off with that because there is a lot of Bob's Burgers to get through. But yeah, so the movie came out. This was one of those things that me and Rich had it fully intended to go and see at the cinema, and then COVID rates went up a bit, and then also I got COVID, and then paid to any of my going out and doing things for a little bit there. And just basically the universe sort of stopped us from doing it. And so I didn't realise this was getting a streaming thing so soon. But then, today we popped open popped open Disney Plus, and there it was, the Bob's Burgers movie. So I did give it a little watch, and like the best thing I can say about it is there are a lot of well, I say a lot. There's been a few cartoons that have done a movie, and you've sort of got to the end of it and thought, well, that wasn't bad, but I don't know why you needed a movie out of it. Why didn't you just have a couple of episodes? But this genuinely feels like it makes perfect sense as a movie rather than splitting it up into a 3-episode arc or whatever.
Okay.
It's got everything that Bob's Burgers normally has that makes it so great. So it's got Linda being absolutely bananas and Bob being absolutely wonderful and a couple of musical sequences and mild peril and general silliness. And my favourite bit was when one of the carnies who works at the Wonder Wharf has he's voiced by the comedian Paul F. Tompkins, but he's doing a very specifically weird voice that really made me laugh. So that was just a treat. And it was one of those films that I got to the end of it and I was like, oh, I'm glad I've seen that now. That was really good. So yeah, Bob's Burgers movie. Ha 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 ha. There you go. That's the segment done, innit? Done.
Yeah.
Dusted. Check us out. Let's do another trumpet. Let's do musical musings, shall we?
Yes.
Go on then.
I've just done a little read up of the film that I've taken this bit of music from, and I should start off. I should preface this that this film is not a good film.
Right.
This is not a good film. I enjoyed the film for when I first saw it, which was back in the 80s. And let's be honest, although there was geek stuff out there, it was sparse,
Yeah.
And when it comes to actual pulp adventure, it was even sparser. So that's what I'm prefacing this with. So this film holds a 13% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
with an average rating of 3.7 out of 10. Metacritic, it got 29 out of 100.
Oof. That's hard.
And it was nominated for 2 Razzie Awards, including Worst Supporting Actor, and interestingly, which I disagree with, Worst Musical Score.
Oh.
So, welcome to my musical music.
Brilliant.
So, the actual composer is Jerry Goldsmith, and I'm sorry, I fail to believe that Jerry Goldsmith can do a bad score. So,
do you know what? I almost picked a Jerry Goldsmith thing this week, and then pivoted. I was gonna do a little track from Total Recall, but
oh, nice! That would have been a good pick. Yeah, maybe I should have gone with that. So my pick is from King Solomon's Mines.
I've never even heard of that.
King Solomon Mines is an action adventure movie. It came out in 1985, which is an adaptation of the novel by H. Rider Haggard. And it starred Richard Chamberlain, Sharon Stone, Herbert Long, and John Rhys Davies. John Rhys Davies, who played Salah in Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is part of the thing that attracted me to watch it in the first place. But in this one, he's a baddie. Even though the book, this is a really famous adventure book and stuff, it's basically a rip-off of Indiana Jones. It is the way because I've seen an earlier version of it, like a 1950s version of it, and it's very different. It's much more serious. Whereas this is just trying to be like a light-hearted Raiders-style romp, which makes sense given it came out 4 years after Raiders. And one of the high points of this film is there's literally, so in Raiders where Indy gets dragged behind the truck.
Yeah.
Which, I absolutely love that scene. In this one, and this is honest to good truth, Alan Quatermain is fighting on top of a train.
Mm-hmm.
He gets thrown under the train.
Right.
The train goes over him. Somehow he grabs some sort of chain or whatever, comes up underneath the train, holding on to the chain, and he's basically got his feet on the rails, and the train's dragging him along, and the music's going, and then he sort of pulls himself back up into the train. It is the most ridiculous and glorious thing I've ever seen.
It sounds brilliant, but also shit.
All done with really bad effects, like effects.
Awesome.
The track that I've picked is the main theme, which I still think is one of the best pieces of adventure music going.
Oh, that's a bold statement.
I know, because it's so gloriously like 80s, in a way that the Raiders theme is quite timeless. This one is very 80s. It's really 80s adventure, and it's just full on. It's like Jerry Goldsmith has seen the film. He's like, look, I know it's shit, but I'm just going to go for it anyway.
Look, I'm not phoning it in, lads. I'm bringing my A game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a listen to this because I want to know why it got nominated for a Razzie. Not that I think, to be honest, like all awards and, you can't really call those awards because they're basically telling you they're shit, aren't they? But like anything that gets nominated for anything, I don't really trust it anyway because it's like art is subjective. So why are you trying to tell me that this thing is better or worse than anything else? But anyway, I love how I had that little rant and literally here we are telling people what we think is good and bad. What a tit. What a tit. But yeah, I'm going to have to give that a listen because I need to know why people think it's awful.
Yeah, give it a listen because I think I really like the soundtrack for this film. The film, however,
have you watched it since you were like good film starved in the 80s?
Yes, I've watched it. Yeah, I have watched it since. I watched it enough times to realise it's not good.
Okay, fair enough.
But I just have fun. And the, as I said, the aforementioned train scene. I'll send you a link to just that train scene because it has to be seen to be believed.
I'm going to enjoy that, I reckon.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, my pick is nowhere near as exciting. It's just a piece of music that was on I've got a little playlist on Spotify of like instrumental / movie score things, what I like that I tend to listen to while I'm working because things with lyrics distract me and I start singing when I should be working. Mm-hmm. and this track came on and I thought, ho, why have I never picked this before as a musical musing? And so that's why I bumped Jerry Goldsmith. And I've picked a track called I'm All Fired Up from the Captain Marvel soundtrack by Pinar Toprak. I really hope I've said that right. I'm so sorry if I haven't. And it's just like the thing about superhero soundtracks to me is that a lot of them sort of rely on the same sort of like themes and like chord progressions and stuff because they've all got to sound like inspiring and heroic. And so when you get a piece of music that stands out from superhero films, like for example, one of the reasons I really love the soundtrack to Ant-Man is because it's much more modelled on a sort of like crime film than it is on like a superhero sort of slant. But the reason I love the Captain Marvel soundtrack is because to me at least it felt like it had a lot more heart than many of the other Marvel soundtracks, and that's not to rag on the other Marvel soundtracks. I do like many of them, but this one in particular really stuck out to me as being one that's very sort of like it packs an emotional punch. And I particularly like this song because it's got like a really hopeful tinge and it like builds up and then fades a bit and then it builds up some more and then it fades a bit and then it gets towards the end and it's like pow, and it's cracking.
Cool.
So there you go. Yep.
Give that a listen afterwards.
It's a good one, bro. It's a good one. Shall I line up that final trumpet?
Yes, because I've got sweat running down my back.
Oh, bless you. You need to get yourself a teddy. By that I mean a tower fan, not a teddy bear. Like, that definitely wouldn't help.
I was going to say, I'm not sure having a teddy bear on my back's going to help me sweat less.
Well, I was going to say, people's minds will immediately have jumped to either a teddy bear or aren't those like little weird like negligees that women wear when they're trying to be sexy called teddies? I wouldn't know because I've literally never owned one because I am the opposite of sexy and I'm fine with that. But anyway, trumpet. I feel like I don't feel like it'd be useful for you in this weather because usually they're like satiny and stuff and that would stick. Anyway, shut up, Stace, and get on with it. That was a shorter one to try and move this along. It's Saturday morning comics, and hopefully we're both about to talk about the same comic. She says optimistically.
If by the same comic you mean the Legend of La Mariposa, Vulcan's challenge.
I do mean that.
Okay, there was a real gap there where I was worried.
No, I was trying to think of something that I could potentially be like, no, it was this, but then my brain did a little brain fart, and I just couldn't come up with a good joke. Sorry, everyone. Look, I told you I'm struggling. Barry, talk about The Legend of La Mariposa because it's good, isn't it?
Yes. Well, this is it's currently doing the rounds as a Kickstarter. It's got 16 days to go. The person behind it is James Lawrence, who's the artist, writer, and all-round good creator. And they're doing pretty well. His goal is 2,200, and he's up to just over 1,900.
Nice.
So yeah, I really want to see him hit his target for this, because this comic is great. Now we've talked about La Mariposa before, because there's been other sort of web. I think they're all kind of web comics, which he then does a Kickstarter for to sort of get them printed as like graphic novels and stuff. And these are, and it's just really fun, all ages romp. And I read it, and basically it's kind of centered around what do you call it? It's wrestling. It's like Mexican wrestling, but I can't think.
Yeah, a luchador.
Luchador, that's it. So the blurb is one prize, 15 luchadors. Summoned to save an old friend from himself, La Mariposa finds herself caught up in a contest of champions contained in the crumbling confines of a collapsed Colosseum and breathe. Will our purple powerhouse triumph over the odds? Can her friendship survive the challenge? What secrets lie behind the mask of Vulcan? Vulcan.
You're having a adult brain fart now as well.
Yeah, I'd like to say those last bits isn't what I've read out. That's just me making some shit up on the fly. Yeah, so I love it. I loved it. It's great art. I mean, the thing is, because obviously James has done all these himself. You know what the art style is. You know what you're getting. It's lovely. It's bold. It's colourful, which is perfect. Like I said, for all ages. And the great thing about this is, like, whether you're a wrestling fan or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's because like I am a wrestling fan, so I sort of like doubly appreciate it, as it were. But I've got to admit, like when you contacted me and said, "Oh, have you seen this?" and I was like, "Let me put my eyes on it." I had a momentary panic because I thought, how much can you wring out of wrestling in a comic? Because a lot of people would say, Stace, wrestling is a very sort of dynamic, movementy sport. Not that there's many non-movementy sports, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of like sort of almost acrobatics and some like, just bonkers shit that happens in the ring. And so like I was a bit worried because I was thinking like, are we just gonna do like sort of the same thing that the previous couple of books have done? And I was so happy when it turned out to be a battle royale, because anybody who likes wrestling will know that a battle royale is like let's just put everyone in the ring, and then if you get thrown out of the ring, you're out of the battle royale. And then when it's down to the last two, you either win by submission or a pin. And I was like, I can't wait to watch. Like, I can't remember how many characters it was, but it's like 12 or 15 or something.
15.
Yeah, like just going absolutely bananas in the ring. And yet every movement is so like clear and vibrant and just like you get the sense that you know exactly how that movie's going, even though like the movement between panels is so like what's the word I'm looking for? It's just like so smooth and like
It's so fluid, isn't it?
that's the word, yes, fluids, thank you. Honestly, my brain. that I don't think you lose anything from the wrestling by it being, you know, sort of still images, if that makes sense. And I just love La Mariposa herself. She's like a really cool character who's like, she's a little bit sassy, but like for the most part, she's just got like a really good heart and she just wants to like wrestle and help people and be awesome. And you're just like, what a lovely message.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely loved it, and I threw some money into the Kickstarter pretty quick smart. I made the mistake of backing 3 Kickstarters that finished like within a week of each other, and now I'm regretting it because it's also the week before my payday. Whoops, whoopsie. Yeah, but they were all worthwhile projects. So, but 2 of them are finished, so I'm not going to plug the other 2. Anyway, yes. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and like you say, you don't need to be a fan of wrestling to enjoy, because it's like, you know, if you don't really have to be a fan of like fighting to enjoy superhero comics, but it's fun to watch them punch each other, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't let the wrestling of it all put you off. Yeah, it's really good. I loved it.
Yeah, me too. It doesn't take itself seriously, wears its heart on its sleeve. And like you said, it's quite a nice message as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's finish this now because I'm starting to sweat and I've got a fucking fan on, so I don't know how you're coping at all.
Yeah.
I've only got the fan on my right. I've only got a fan on my right hand side, so the left side of me is just drizzling.
I've literally got like Trevor the cat just put his paw up on the door, is just saying, "Get out of there! Don't be a fool, man! Don't be a hero."
Get some water down, mate. Hey everyone, that was season 4, episode 4 of Stace and Barry. Tweet us at Stacey's Parlour and at Geek Syndicate, and stay hydrated and look after yourself and look after others, and you know, don't take COVID for granted because it's going bananas again. And we love you. Bye everyone.
Bye all.